At modeling problems with algebra specifically. So we have our word problem here, and we're going to try to model it using building some equations, and then we might even graph it to help us like visualize what the heck's going on. Okay, so Georgia is planning her wedding. She compares the cost of places to hold the reception, and these are two places. Place numero uno is Frontenac Hall, 7,500 plus $50 a guest, and number two, David Hill Hall, 5,000 plus $75 a guest. Which is best is really, really vague because it really depends, right? If how many guests I get. If I have no guests, it's really sad for me, but it's way cheaper to go to David Hill Hall. And if the entire world comes to my wedding, well, then it's probably going to work out better at this place because the price per guest is eventually going to catch it. Okay, so we're going to first kind of build an equation. And the type of equation we're going to build deals with this. And that's pretty much what we've learned so far. Y is equal to mx plus b. We're familiar with this idea? Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, when it comes to like costs of things, I know they tell you m is the slope of something and b is the y-intercept. Okay, but what the heck does that mean in terms of like money and business and things like that? Well, a y-intercept, okay, and I'll just roughly draw it here. We'll get our lovely little line. A y-intercept is the cost of something, okay, when the x value or the amount of it is 0. So if nobody were to show up in this case, this is our cost at 0. So it's usually known as a fixed cost. So it doesn't matter who shows up, everyone, nobody, or whatever heck's going on, I have to pay this no matter what. Okay, I should have written that in green. I don't know why I wrote that in red. Okay, that's a fixed cost. And then our slope in this case is what it's changing by. Okay, so for every additional person coming or whatever the matter is, what's it going up? And that's known as the variable cost. So that's how you kind of relate these two business type terms, what these two things mean. So Frontenac Hall, let's do this one in black. So we'll call it FH. And we need a y equals mx plus b. Well, the y will stay the same, the x will stay the same. What do you think is our fixed cost?
7,500 and 5,000.
Yeah. 7,500 for Frontenac Hall is our fixed cost. So our b in the question is going to be 7,500. So if nobody shows up, it costs us $7,500. And what's the variable cost for that place?
50.
That's right, 50. Right? So for every additional person who shows up, it costs us an additional $50. Okay. What was the other place? DHH. That's a delivery company. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think it's DHL. Okay. YX. What's our fixed cost? Fixed cost in this one.
5,000.
5,000. Perfect. So 5,000 is our fixed cost. And what is our variable cost?
75.
$75 is our variable cost. Okay, so two pretty different ones. We have different equations for each, okay? And what we want to do is probably go about graphing them. So this would be the y-intercept. And I'm going to put them up on a graphing calculator, but I'm going to do a rough sketch, okay? I'm going to do a rough sketch of these. So the first one, we'll draw in black. It's at 7,500, and it has a slope of 50, I'm just going to say that's about what 50 would look like, okay? We don't really have a great scale here. And then our other one, well, we can do that one in maybe green, okay? Our y-intercept is 5,000, so a little bit lower, but when we go to actually graph it out, because it's $75 a person, it's going to increase a little bit faster, and eventually at some point, okay, the prices would be the same. Okay, so it didn't matter which place we chose, okay, and we're going to figure out what that number is in a second or two, but it doesn't matter which or how many people, no, sorry, it doesn't matter how many people it is, it doesn't matter which place we go to, the price will be the same. So, and from the looks of it, it looks like if we're before that number, the green one, so David Hill Hall, will be cheaper up to that point, and then after that point, it looks like Frontenac Hall will be cheaper because their price per guest is a little bit lower. Now, we would normally use substitution or elimination, which is like algebraic ways of solving this, but you haven't gotten into that yet. So I'm just going to graph them, and we can solve by graphing, though it's a little bit sometimes hard to see what the values are. I'm going to open up a graphing calculator here. Yeah, and get rid of cotangent. We don't need that. Okay, so we said y was equal to 7,500. Whoops. And that was 50x plus that, right? I think that was the value. So obviously our y-intercept, and we can tell right here, is at 10. That's not even close to the y-intercept will be here. So we're going to really zoom out. There it is. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to make a little bit of better scale. Let's put the other one in too. Y is equal to $75 per person, but the original cost was $5,000, right? Really hard to see this. So I'm going to change the scale here. I'm going to, my x-axis is going to go from 0. Nope. Yeah, actually 0 is good. Let's go negative 10 actually. To maybe 100. That's a little better. Hey, that worked out nice. All right, so let's zoom out just a bit from that. So we can see this idea here. And this looks like the point of intersection at 100. And we could test this by plugging into 100 into both to see. But the point of intersection, what that means, doesn't matter which place we choose. Okay, at 100 people, the price is the same. And the price is going to be $12,500 if we invite 100 people. Anywhere before that, green was David Hill Hall. If we have less than 100 people, then it makes more sense to go to David Hill Hall. And if we're going to get more than 100 people, then it makes more sense to go to Frontenac Hall. Oops, let's go back to here. Okay, and quickly zoom in. I'm just going to show that those are the same now that we've graphed. We can test that by plugging that value in for x. Okay, so the first equation, I'll do that one in red. So Frontenac Hall, this is just a check. You don't have to normally do this, but we'll check. 50 times the 100 people we decide to invite. So we invite me 100 times. Okay. So 50 times 100 is going to give us 5,000 plus 7,500. And that's going to end up being 0, 0, 5, and a 12. $12,500 to go to Frontenac Hall. Let's try that again with David Hill Hall here. Y is equal to 75 times those same 100 people plus, whoops, that's one number, 5,000, right? And we test it out. This becomes 7,500 plus 5,000. And already this and this are the same thing. They're just in different order. 5,000 plus 7,500. So we already know that the answer for here would be 12,500. So that's your equilibrium, they call it in business. Okay.